Hey guys, 2025 is in full swing so far, so I wanted to talk about the movies that I'm really looking forward to this year. Some of them are ones that I'm pretty excited for, and others that I actually only just discovered now. Not saying that they look good, but I'm just kind of curious that they're here. So we're going to go through this in kind of from January all the way to December. I'm not going to really say dates, I'm just going to say, and as the year goes along, these are the movies I'm looking forward to. First being Wolfman. I know it looks bad. I know it comes out in January. However, it is being done by Lin-Manuel, who did The Invisible Man, Upgrade. He's doing his own low-budget version of the Universal Monsters, so curious to see how this works. It looks kind of interesting from the trailer, so I have some optimism for it. The next one is The Heart Eyes. This is made by the same guys who did the Scream movies. This might be good, this might be bad, I don't really know. We're going to have to see how that goes. Next is The Gorge. Now, this is only coming out for Apple, which means I'll have to watch it in a different means, but I am kind of curious about this one. This has Miles Teller, Anya Taylor-Joy, and it looks like an original concept. Two snipers shooting at each other while watching this big hole, and there's weird shit that's coming out of it. Looks kind of interesting. Now we're kind of going into the ones that I'm kind of cautious about. Last Breath. I am on the fence about this one, admittedly, because the documentary is incredible. If you've never seen the documentary, I highly recommend you watch it. It's one of the most captivating documentaries I've ever seen. I actually held my breath for a good long while, and I was pretty well done. This is one of the best documentaries I've seen in a long time. So I would suggest watch the documentary and then maybe look at the movie. But now one that I don't think I'll see, but I'm just kind of amazed that it's happening. In the Lost Lands. This is another Paul W.S. Anderson movie that has Mila Jovovich, his wife, and Dave Bautista. It looks bad. Like, look at this. Did anyone know this was happening? Now moving back into the good ones, Mickey 17, another Bong Joon-ho film with Robert Pattinson. I like the idea of this because it looks funny from the trailer, but I guarantee you it's gonna really go down a dark path real fucking quick, knowing Bong. So very curious to see how this turns out. And then again, going back into ones I'm kind of on the fence on, The Electric State. I finally think that the Russo brothers have finally made a movie that's decent, that's outside of Marvel. Outside of everything else they've made, it's been meh at best. The Gray Man with $300 fucking million and is a okay movie at best. Citadel being a giant waste of money for Amazon. So have they finally figured it out? We'll have to see. Now moving on to one that I am actually probably one of the most excited for is Sinners. Did not know about this until I went and saw Nosferatu, but seeing that trailer, having Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan, IMAX cameras, and possibly a period piece vampire fighting movie, this looks so cool. I am really excited for this. I'm really hoping it turns out well. I love what's a part of it. I love who's behind it. I'm really hoping for something cool. And then it's kind of dipping into something else that I only just found out about. Did you know that Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things is writing and directing a movie called Hell of a Summer? I didn't know about this until just now, so kind of curious to see what he does. We'll see how it turns out. Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't, but I guess we'll see. And then we're going into the summer blockbusters, Mission Impossible Final Reckoning. Despite the fact that Dead Reckoning didn't make any money and also kind of released itself at the worst fucking possible time, Tom, I don't know what you were thinking. It had a great amount of stunt sequences in it and really captivating action sequences. So I'm curious to see what they do with this one. Tom knows how to make a movie that's fun to watch at the theaters. What can I say? Now going on to Life of Chuck. This is a Mike Flanagan movie. Mike Flanagan is one of my favorite directors and writers, so I'm always curious to see what he does. Everything about it kind of looks like it's a dark comedy, but we'll see what happens. It is based on a Stephen King story, so we will see. But speaking of truly terrifying, Danny Boyle is coming back with 28 years later. Very, very excited about this. Slightly dismayed that this is part one. There's going to be a part two. It's so under the barrel that no one seems to be talking about it. If you want, I have a video talking about it. Anyways, regardless, 28 years later, I'm very excited for this. Very happy to see Danny Boyle coming back. Alex Garland is coming back. Very excited to see what happens. And speaking of ones I'm curious about, F1, Brad Pitt and Joseph Kosinski in a movie about Formula One. Very curious to see what happens. Kind of curious to see who's in it. Formula One, for me personally, I've been kind of in and out of it the last little while. I try to watch it and then I kind of fall asleep, and then some races I love, some races I don't. So I'm kind of curious to see what happens with this one. Then speaking of other things that I did not know were happening, did you guys know that Trey Parker is directing a live action movie for Paramount? I didn't know this, but apparently they've been working on it for the last little while. It's not titled, but the film will depict the past and present coming to a head when the young black man is interning as a slave reenactor at a living history museum, discovers that his white girlfriend's ancestors once owned his. Kind of curious to see how that works out. Being Trey, the writer for this, is someone who's been working with Trey and Matt on South Park for years, so very curious to see how they handle it. And it could be funny. And obviously Superman with James Gunn, very curious to see how this works. The trailer's been getting a lot of good buzz. The guy knows the comics. He knows how to make a good movie. He proved that with Guardians of the Galaxy. He proved that with The Suicide Squad. While it didn't make a lot of money, it was still a fun movie. So I'm curious to see. This is the beginning of the whole new DC movie universe shit. So we'll see what happens. And then speaking of another movie that's kind of interesting, Predator Badlands, being directed once again by the same director from Prey. This is going to be from the Predator's perspective. Very curious to see how that works, because I love the Aliens Dark Horse comics. They gave me the absolute shitters in terms of nightmares. The Predator comics I didn't enjoy too much. I always found it was kind of boring from their perspective, but we'll see how it turns out in film. And then dipping into a remake that I didn't really know was happening, and to be honest, there's been very little talk about it, is the Running Man remake, directed and written by Edgar Wright and starring Glenn Powell. Kind of curious to see what comes of that. It could be good, it could be bad. Edgar hasn't done anything since The Last Night in Soho, so see what happens. And then ending off the year with kind of a safe one, but Avatar Fire and Ash. Is James Cameron just going to do the same kind of story again like he did from 1 and 2? They have to kind of move on from, oh, it's a new culture, and it's like the slowest buildup of Digimon characters figuring out their powers sort of thing. But we will see. Stephen Lang is still in these movies. The tech might be kind of but hey, you know what? We'll see. James has made the same movie twice. Very well done in terms of production value, of course. So I guess we'll find out. Anyways, guys, those are the movies I am most excited for and most interested in, whether they be good or bad, for 2025. Let me know about the movies you're excited to see in the comments below, and we'll start a discussion. I'm curious to see if anyone else has something that is new. I know that Jack Quaid has one coming out this year, but I can't find it. But there was a really weird trailer with the hand burning thing. I'm kind of curious. I think it might be called Companion, but I don't know. I couldn't find it again, but yeah, let me know. Anyways, guys, that's all for me. Very excited for this year. Very excited to have more discussions with you guys and to just see what comes out this year. Always enjoy talking with you guys on the channel here, and just appreciate your time and your comments and your likes. But that's all for me. I'll see you guys next time.